Paramount's new owners, Skydance, were not consulted about the decision to renew Star Trek Academy for a second season. Here's the truth behind that decision. Welcome to SciTrek Daily, your daily dose of SciTrek news and rumours. So, a couple of weeks ago over at New York Comic Con, Alex Kurtzman proudly stood on stage and announced that his baby, Star Trek Academy, is getting a second season at Paramount+. But we're hearing over here at SciTrek that has not made Skydance particularly happy. And they were not actually consulted about this decision beforehand. So, what is the truth behind the announcement of Season 2 of Star Trek Academy? Well, actually, the decision to renew it for a second season apparently isn't anything to do with how much they're looking forward to the show or how much they think the show is going to be brilliant or popular or anything else. It's purely a business decision on Paramount Plus's side that actually pushed a lot by Secret Hideout, who are actually producing the show. But this show is actually incredibly expensive. I'm being told that the first season is costing anything up to $120 million to produce. That is mainly because of all the sets they're having to build. Alex Kurtzman has very proudly told us that actually the Star Trek Academy itself, or Starfleet Academy itself set, is the most expensive set ever built for a Star Trek production. This is expensive. And again, I'm being told $120 million for the first season. However, I'm being told the second season, because they won't be building sets, etc., will only actually cost about half that. You're looking at $60 to $70 million. So, how do you mitigate the cost of a very expensive first season and make it look on the balance sheet like it's not so bad? You immediately greenlight a second season and you spread the costs out over those two seasons. So instead of $120 to $130 million and then a $60 to $70 million second season, you basically have $190 million over the two seasons. You can half that and say that both seasons actually cost about $80 to $90 million. So it's an accountant's wet dream. You spread that cost out over. I'm being told that is the truth behind why the second season was announced. Well, I say that. It's why the second season has been agreed and greenlit, and not necessarily why it was announced. So what do I mean by that? Well, this was announced by Secret Hideout, not through Paramount, obviously at the New York Comic Con. Now, it would have been announced with Paramount's permission, but it wasn't announced with Skydance's permission. Why wouldn't Paramount have consulted them? Well, again, as I said, they don't have to. Skydance aren't the bosses yet. Paramount don't have to do anything they say. But there has been a strategic review, and if you've been watching the SciTrek Lives over the last few weeks, you'll know that I've talked about this quite a lot. A strategic review between Skydance, Paramount, and an outsourced group of consultants, marketing people, etc., have been reviewing all of the major franchises over at Paramount and putting back recommendations to Skydance. This is for a couple of reasons. Skydance will want to cut a lot of costs over at Paramount, so they're looking at where they can do that. They're going to want to stamp their authority on Paramount. They're looking how to do that. But also, from the point of Star Trek, there is a major decision that needs to be made very early on in Skydance's future about what to do with the franchise, because the contract with Secret Hideout actually ends in the middle of 2026. Now, that sounds like a very long way away, but Skydance are not going to be taken over until probably the middle of 2025. They're only going to have at most 12 months to make a decision and then negotiate that decision with Skydance. Now, we're being told over here at SciTrek that actually Skydance are not massively happy with Secret Hideout and the direction of Star Trek, but may be forced to give them an extension simply because of this time frame and they don't have enough time to negotiate a deal. So there's a couple of problems here from Skydance's point of view that they're not particularly happy with Paramount for allowing this decision to go ahead. One, the contract that we're talking about, this contract between Secret Hideout and Paramount, may not actually be in force come to the point when Secret Hideout would start filming the second season. They've only just started filming the first season. It's probably going to be 2 years until we see the second season start. The contract that currently is in place will have run out or will be about to run out at that point. Now, the contract that's in place, I'm told, actually has a proviso in there that anything in production at the time when the contract ends has to be concluded, has to be completed. So I'm told that there's a possibility there that Secret Hideout are just trying to rush this through and rush through the announcement because they want to get it in production before the contract runs out. Skydance feel like that is slightly tying their hands a little bit and sort of painting themselves into a corner of guarding the contract. So there's a contract that may have run out by then, and now Paramount have announced this big project. Skydance feel that actually that is an announcement beyond what is agreed at the moment. I'm actually looking at this thinking Skydance might have to actually reverse this decision and actually then announce that it's not going to happen. That is not going to be something they're going to be particularly happy to do. I'm being told that Skydance just look at this decision as a why sort of thing. Why announce it now? So, and that really is the point of why, apparently, Paramount didn't consult Skydance about the decision. It was simply because they knew that Skydance would probably say no. Now, I actually did push my source on this and sort of say, would Skydance have agreed it though, in principle? You know, because of this business decision we're talking about and spreading the cost over the 2 seasons. He said, grudgingly, Skydance probably would have agreed to it. The thing is, they wouldn't have announced it because, as I said, it just means something they have to then backtrack on later. They're going to want to see how the show does, but more importantly, they're going to want to decide what to do with Secret Hideout in the future. It's not as simple as just saying that they can remove Secret Hideout and produce Star Trek, Starfleet Academy on their own if they want to. It's not how this thing works. If they want to produce a second season of Starfleet Academy, it has to be done with Secret Hideout. So Skydance are feeling a little bit like they're having their hand forced, and it's by Secret Hideout. I don't think we should try to pretend for a second here that this is a Paramount, really a singular decision. This is Secret Hideout pushing their agenda. They desperately want a new contract, and they're desperately trying to announce as much new Star Trek as possible in the hope that if enough fans get excited about it, it'll really force Skydance's hand and help them to get a really good deal in the long run. The problem is, at a double-edged sword, and what might actually happen instead is that Skydance will be annoyed at Secret Hideout before they even get involved and take over. And that might not be too good for Alex Kurtzman in the long run. But what do you think about the decision to announce a second season of Star Trek Academy so soon? Remembering, they didn't do this for Strange New Worlds or anything else. We didn't get an announcement of season 4 of Strange New Worlds until, I think it was after season 3 aired. Now I think they've done that. They have done that occasionally and announced 2 seasons of things, but normally they don't. So what is going on? Get into the comments, tell me what you think. I know what I think. I think the people over at Paramount aren't watching, and actually Secret Hideout announcing whatever the hell they like at the moment, and nobody cares at Paramount, so they're just getting away with it. But what do you think? Get into the comments. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. And I will see you tomorrow with more of SciTrek Daily News and Gossip.